me clearly. America is not a racist country.
Ladies and gentlemen, you know how Florida has been fighting like hell not to teach the real history. Well, guess what they came up with? They are going to teach in their schools slavery was a benefit. I wonder when their time of captivity comes, they're going to still feel like it's a benefit. I doubt it, right? But this is what they plan on teaching. See, that's why they want the original history gone, because then they can sit around and teach lies. So let's get into this story, y'all. Florida schools will teach how slavery brought personal benefit to Black people. The same ones that are still being oppressed to this very day. Yeah, it brought a benefit. That benefit must be invisible because nobody sees it. Middle school students in Florida will soon be taught that slavery gave Black people a personal benefit because they developed skills. And then y'all came up with unions to lock those skilled workers out. See, no matter what you try to push, many of us still know the real history. And you sure are not going to stop us from telling it. So after the Florida School Board of Education approved new standards for African American history on Wednesday, high school students will be taught an equally distorted message that a deadly white mob attack against Black residents of Florida in 1920 included acts of violence perpetuated against and by African Americans. So when the white mobs got together, according to them, all the violence came from the African Americans. Listen to what they intend on teaching kids. If you are a parent of melanated children and you're going to push your kids out the door to listen to this, then something is definitely wrong with you. Dozens of Black residents were killed in massacres, which was perpetuated to stop them from voting. According to members of the school board, the distorted portrayal of the racist massacre is factually accurate. So, Mary Lynn Mager, a member of the board appointed by Governor Ron DeSantis, said in a board meeting in Orlando Wednesday that everything is there in the new history standards. New history standards, y'all. The darkest part of our history are addressed. According to the Tallahassee Democrat reported, the majority of the speakers who provided public testimony on the planned curriculum vehemently opposed it, warning its context is omitted, atrocities and are glossed over. And in some cases, students will be taught to blame the victim. And the victims were the enslaved and everything that happened after slavery, Reconstruction and Jim Crow. They're taught to blame the victim for all of that. This is what's happening in Florida. And you know what? That slavery is a benefit. This is nothing new. I'll show you where that originally came out of. So anyway, I am very concerned about these standards. Well, all I got to say is if y'all keep sending your children to school to get taught this kind of crap, then the parents are 100% at fault. You should not be sending your child out the door for them to teach this twisted version of the history that never happened. That's why you really should not believe anything in this country. Everything we have been told has been lies. Everything. In Alabama, if you go back and look, Alabama was saying that crap too. Oh, slavery is a benefit. When your time comes, we'll see what a benefit it is to you. So I am very concerned about these standards, especially some of the notion that enslaved people benefited from being enslaved. All right, so this is one of the reps down in Florida. Yeah, you're disturbed by it, but you sure are not shutting it down. When I see the standards, I'm very concerned. This is Senator Geraldine Thompson said at the board meeting, if I were still a professor, I would do what I did very infrequently. I'd have to give this a grade of I for incomplete. It recognizes that we have made an effort, we've taken a step. However, the history needs to be comprehensive. It needs to be authentic and it needs additional work. When you look at history currently, it suggests the massacres was sparked by violent African Americans. That's what they're going to be teaching, y'all. Not white mobs started the violence, which is historically accurate. The African Americans started the massacres. That's what they're going to be taught in Florida. Mm, mm, mm. So that's blaming the victim, the Democrat warned. Please table this rule and advise it to make sure that my history, our history, is being told factually and complete. And please do not, for the love of God, tell our children that slavery was a benefit because I guarantee you, come on, I guarantee you it mostly certainly was not. Community member Kevin Parker said, no, it was no benefit to us. It was no benefit whatsoever. Because if it was a benefit, we would not have been sabotaged every step of the way like we are now, still being sabotaged. Approval of the new standards, and this is for teaching history, is a win for DeSantis administration, which have effectively sought to create a new educational agenda that shields white children from feeling any sense of guilt. So you want to shift that onto the black children. Oh, y'all started all the massacres. So you want to shift it onto the black children because that's what it sounds like to me. You're trying to say you're trying to shield them, but you're shifting all the blame for riots onto the black children. But that's okay. But don't put none on yours. Oh man, y'all can go kick rocks for real. Mm, mm, mm. So they want to prevent white kids from feeling any sense of guilt for wrongdoing perpetuated against people of color. You know, they love using that. The Florida governor signed the Stop Woke Act. This was last year to do just that. So what they're doing is hijacking the history and rewriting the history with things that never ever occurred in American history during slavery. That's what they're doing. Mm, mm, mm. In keeping the administration's crusade against wokeness, Education Commissioner Manny Diaz defended the new standards against criticism. Well, Diaz, I'm not surprised that you are. You know, generally, that's what people like you down there, that's how you think you're surviving. But they'll turn on you too. saying this is in depth, deep dive into African American history. So a man that's not an African American is going to tell us what's good for us, which is clearly American history, as Governor Ron DeSantis said. And what Florida has done is expanded. Yeah, expanded with additional lies that you did not have there before. So you had some lies, now you got more lies. Paul Burns, the Florida Department of Education chancellor of K through 12 public schools, also insists the new standards provides an exhaustive representative of African American history. Wow. So I want y'all to see where this slavery is a benefit crap comes from, because nothing is original. Nothing, even the things they say today, nothing's okay. Here's where it originated from. But slavery is good for some people as a good thing. Slavery is strikingly particular, and that it is the only good thing which no man ever seeks the good of for himself. So, old lazy eye Abraham Lincoln also thought, it was beneficial to have slavery. He just didn't take it to the step. But this is where it originated from. They had to say all these things to try to take the guilt off of themselves. We loved being slaves. We were happy slaves, and we wanted to do things for white people. They came up with all kinds of crap. The bottom line is slavery sucks, and doing things for white people sucks. And benefiting from it, we fail to see the benefits. There are no benefits. There are no benefits. There are no benefits that have been passed down through the generations. None of that. Okay? Yeah, you could sit and believe your lie, but you're not going to find any of us living and breathing that believe we have benefited from slavery when we're last in everything. And you've made sure we're last by sabotaging everything we do. If we started up another Black Wall Street right now, you would be out sabotaging it. If we come up with an organization all black, well, why you be all in it? Time, well, why can't white people be involved? Because that's what y'all do. You sabotage virtually everything. See, you don't come around to be an added bonus to what's going on. You come around to sabotage. That's why you want to be involved in it. You want to dismantle anything that we got going. So you want to always penetrate whatever organization or anything that's going on so you can sabotage it. We see this all the time. So, they had to tell themselves this load of crap back then just to take the guilt off of what they've done, because technically we have never done nothing to these people. Their hatred is unfounded. We have literally done nothing to their asses. We have done nothing. That's why they got to come up with all this Johnny come lately stuff. Oh, well, you deserve it. Oh, y'all, you deserve to go to jail. Why? And then half of your damn prisoners sitting up in there didn't even commit a crime. Oh, well, you brought that on yourself. How? How did we bring your sabotaging on ourselves? How? We have done nothing wrong to these people historically. Nothing. So they got to keep coming up with all this load of crap about how violent we are, how bad we are, how stupid we got, low IQ. They got to keep coming up with that because they literally don't have a legitimate reason for what they have done for us. All they can do is tell you a bunch of remedial stuff, but they can't show you anything in the history that we have physically done to them. So our standards are factual, objective standards. They really teach the good, the bad, and the ugly. No, if you're changing the history, you're absolutely not doing that. You're absolutely not doing that. So he denied the new standards portray slavery as beneficial, although educational officials say teachers are meant to expand upon the new curriculum in the classrooms. Critics say teachers are unlikely to do that for fear of being singled out and possibly punished for being too woke. Yeah, they'll just fire you. That's what they've been doing all along. Any teacher that tried to teach the real history, they get fired immediately. And now the new mob are white parents. White parents are now the new mob. So the Florida Education Association, the state's largest teachers union, called the new standards a big step backwards for the state that has required teaching African American history since 1994 in a statement after Wednesday's vote. So, how do y'all explain down in Florida feeding babies to alligators, our babies to alligators? Uh, Did were the babies committing a violent act and that's why they were fed to the alligators? Is that what y'all gonna try to say? Since now all the massacres that was violent African Americans starting all the violence. Y'all full of crap. So anyway, Derek Johnson, president and CEO of the NAACP, also condemned the new curriculum, saying in a statement, "Our children deserve nothing less than the truth, justice, and equity our ancestors shed blood, sweat, and tears for." Today's actions by Florida state government are an attempt to bring our country back to the 19th century America, where Black life was not valued, nor are rights protected. So we understand the horrors of slavery and Jim Crow were a violation of human rights, crime against humanity, and represent the darkest period in American history. We refuse to go back. Yeah, well, who's suing Ron DeSantis in the state of Florida for making these changes? I don't hear nothing in the article about any lawsuits. You're not challenging them legally on it for rewriting history so it don't harm a white kid, right? Isn't that why they do? Because we don't want our white kids there. No, but you want Black children to believe that all of the mob violence came from them. That's okay to shift that onto Black kids, all right? Oh man, my kid would not be going to school down in Florida. That's all I got to say. If I had one down there, they sure wouldn't be going to any of your schools. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.